Good evening, welcome back to Velocity Racing League. This is the 1991 Australian Grand Prix event. Oh, you've already seen my little teaser there for what's going to happen tomorrow. But welcome to this race around the Adelaide street circuit, and it's going to be an absolute beauty. We're in the middle of qualifying, 15 minutes to go in this. Thank you, Holly May, straight off the bat for subscribing. Paddy Donnelly currently leads the way, and Alex Mckeown in second with James Knott in third. A couple of new names, James Knott and Mike Crick in particular, you'll notice. We've got a selection of cars from the 1991 Formula 1 World Championship on hand here, including the McLaren MP46, the Williams FW14, the Benetton B191, the Ferrari 643 and the Jordan 191. So each driver's got a chance to choose a car. They're quite different in the way that they handle. Some have paddle shift, some have H pattern, for example. And I'm once again going to be multitasking tonight. Hopefully I'll have one other person join me in the commentary box fairly soon. But right now you're stuck with me, 15 minutes to go. Riley Smith currently leads the way. We'll go on board with, well actually we'll quickly run through some of these liveries, which Nicholas Gregg here, Yamaha based. They really lend themselves to these simple liveries, these cars. As Nicholas Gregg goes to the top on a 1:17.295. Riley Smith, very Perry the Platypus inspired even, for some reason. And then Max Spivey, red and black Nike Air Max car. Max 180 OG is back, there you go. Who else? We've got Mike Crick running a Pentax livery. And you see he's even got the old VRL logo on the top there. Valiant Knight. He's been doing a fair bit of promotion for us actually. More than probably I've even done. Brand new to VRL, driving the Jordan at the moment. Jack Meredith, she's got a number of different brands on that. Some old logos as well, that old Qantas and the KFC logo on the back. So he roams around. And Chris Refalo, who has absolutely outdone himself here with the Feeler McLaren Honda. He's coming up through the staircase section now. Expect him to be very quick tonight. This is a one-off event. So you can see him roam around the top of the course now. Take you on board for a lap of this circuit. We'll find someone who's about to start one. Here's Jack Meredith. Around the last corner, coming down the main straight now. Into the centre chicane. Still sticking it in fifth gear is Jack. It's such a fast kink, especially with these cars. They can take curves really well, this particular mod. It's not quite like that if you go back and look at real life footage, but That's the way it is. Chris Refalo's gone to the top on a 1:15.970. 13 cars at the moment on the in this race, so 12 cars on the circuit. Through turn 8 Brewery Bend, extremely quick. Turn 8, turn 10. See, this is usually where turn 8 is on the V8 Supercars circuit, and I'm definitely going to get confused a couple of times with that. But that is turn 10. This is 11 now, not 9, as you might be familiar with. It's still called the Ketterfield hairpin. Back into Victoria Park now. Double left-hander. And then snaking through down to the hairpin, which you'll be pretty familiar with this if you follow V8 Supercars. Which, well, until last year. Until this year. Raced in Adelaide. Season opener. So that the lap counter hasn't actually clicked as he's gone across the line. What was it? It was a 1:18.4 his last lap. Okay. Must have invalidated it at some point. Keep sending in your chat messages all night because I will keep one eye on them. 10.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. We're watching Riley Smith, currently sitting second. He's in a Williams. So McLaren Williams, you can keep track with who's in what car on the side there. And it's all the retro logos, except for the McLaren one, actually. Yeah. Everything else is a retro logo. You can see the Williams, the Benetton, the Ferrari, and the Jordan. Only one Jordan, one Ferrari here this evening. That's me at the bottom. I've got to get rid of myself. They all have different engine notes and everything. I've just gone to Mike Cricket. He's in the wall. That is down at turn number 4, coming on to East Terrace, and I imagine he's just gotten out into the grass there and maybe grabbed that wall. It kind of fires you back onto the track at an awkward angle. But away he goes again, and he'll have to come round and pit for a fresh front wing. 9 minutes to go in this session, so he's got plenty of time. Take a look at our sectors here. Most cars on an outlap, so we've got it on quite an awkward cycle. Here's Alex Mckeown, who doesn't race with us very often. He's fairly active around here, but I don't think V8 Supercars appeals to him, so he doesn't race with us very often, but he does like to get involved in a lot of these sort of events. And these Formula 1 cars seem to be suiting him at the moment. Currently sitting 5th place. We'll see if he goes faster across the line. It was 1.3 seconds down in the first sector. No faster. 17.5.38. Mellow. So track grip is improving as we go on. Farmers Union iced coffee. I don't think I showed off his livery. As he comes across the line, 6th fastest for him. Up and over the curves, the Cern chicane. Simply called the S's this day. Before it was dedicated to Eastern Centre. Gorgeous overhead shot of that, and it's so easy to cut over that curb on the inside there and run wide on the outside as well. Big curbs that await you you do make a mistake. Chris Refalo is going faster. Alex Mckeown in the Benetton is up to second place. Rules past. Believe that's Max Spivey, who currently sits in 7th. Right, I need to get rid of myself. That's B cast. Working on the fly here. Let's change it back to gaps and clips. Down to 13. There you go. So I don't have my big mug in there as well. 6.5 minutes to go. Track grip must be near 100% now. Yeah, Jack Meredith, 10.4 seconds off the pace. Must be cutting a fair bit. There's quite a spread in the field, 7 seconds or so. There's no 107% rule for this race. It's just a one-off. It's a fairly small field. But the difference between being able to drive these cars and being able to drive these cars well is very big. Usually you don't see this sort of spread. It's a fairly short circuit as well, only 1 minute 15s that they're doing. Track length is it's 3.9 kilometres off the top of my head. So not particularly long. John Slow has gone around. That's down at the Stag corner on the run towards turn number 10. Off he goes. Riley Smith now sitting in 3rd position. Is he on a fast lap? He may well be. Nicholas Gregg jumps up to 2nd position. Well, he's definitely not. Who was that that just went past? One of the McLarens. I think it's Paddy Donnelly. It is. We'll watch him. Seems to thrive in this older stuff, and he'll enjoy once we go to the Australian touring cars. Sorted. There we go. So I don't have to see the tail end of the queue. That will do. Paddy Donnelly, 5th place. Callister and Paddy Donnelly are the 2 cars that have teleported to pit lane, whether or not accidentally, I'm not sure. That's a car spinning off. It's Josh Hill in the Ferrari, the lone Ferrari. And he's back to the pit lane. That's the end of his qualifying session, it seems, as well. So, 3 cars who won't go out again. You haven't got much of a chance anyway. It's only 3 minutes to go. Nick Mello jumps up into 3rd position, so we're seeing some fast times being put in. Let's just watch here at the first chicane and enjoy. As long as there's another car coming soon. There is, it's Jack Meredith. You see they just leap over the curb. It's so quick. And the car seems so unstable and so on edge. And you've got to do that 81 laps in a row. There goes Nick Mello. No safety car tonight, so no chance to really get back into the game. Minute 55 left. Nicholas Gregg on board with. Coming up through the staircase onto Hutt Street. And now down towards the market turn. Minute and a half left in this qualifying session. See him take a lot of curb there on the inside of the Brewery Bend. Now down the brim straight towards the hairpin. First of two hairpins. Back in a race course. Oh, nearly lost on the way out of there. It's a bit scruffy, that middle sector. Yeah, there's only a minute left anyway. So. Nicholas Gregg gets ready to start up again. Down to the chicane. Absolutely launches it over those curbs. We'll stay on board for this lap with him as he tries to go for pole position. Has to fight the car coming on to East Terrace. Riley Smith's had a little tap with the, I want to say the wall. Down at turn number 10. Two tenths up, first sector. Could have a chance for pole. The checkered flag is out and we are done with qualifying. We'll check his second sector time as he comes in here. Is it going to be purple again? Not quite, so 5 tenths though. This is green. See, I don't get this plus and minus and whatever. It's all a bit confusing. Chris Refalo currently sits on pole position. Nicholas Gregg runs out of fuel just before the line. Wow. So he nearly got to the line. It could have had a crack at pole position, but he'll stay second fastest. Ran out of fuel just before then. Refalo, Greg Smith, Meredith are your... Mello's left early. So... Is that your actual top four? Who's yet to finish? John Slow, last corner in the Benetton. Goes to 19.980. So it looks like that is qualifying run and done, and we'll take a look at the results. So Chris Refalo on pole, Nicholas Gregg in second, Nick Mello third, Riley Smith in fourth, Jack Meredith in fifth, Alex Mckeown sits in sixth, and then Paddy Donnelly in seventh, Max Spivey in eighth, Joshua Hill in ninth, in 10th is John Slow, and then Jack Callister, James Knott, Mike Crick. That is the 13 car field for tonight's Australian Grand Prix, and we will return with the race in about 5 minutes time. Welcome to the 1991 Australian Grand Prix from Velocity Racing League. Good to have your company this evening. We have got a grid of 13 cars. Yes, I can hear you. And Chris Refalo is sitting on pole position off to the right-hand side in the McLaren Honda. We have got, how long? Let's bring up my little countdown. 1:45 to go until the race begins. And we're almost ready to get it underway. Everyone qualifies, so all 13 cars. It's not just the top 10 for... Who was asking that? Mitch. Yep, that's... that was intentional. We're here at the Adelaide Street Circuit, so it is a 16 corner layout this time, as opposed to the 14 corners you might be used to. On the shorter V8 Supercars circuit, this is the longer configuration used for the Grand Prix and also for 1 year with the American Le Mans event. It is 3.7 kilometers long, and it all funnels down into the first corner here at the centre chicane. So staying out of the way of each other is going to be key. Only about 30 seconds left until the lights are illuminated for the start of this race. You can hear the engine starting to rev up. Lights coming on. And we're away. And it looks like it's a neck and neck start between Chris Refalo and Nicholas Gregg. Riley Smith currently sits in third. Are they all going to get through the first corner okay, or not quite? Yeah, not at all. There's a bunch of cars spinning around. I think Paddy Donnelly's one of them involved. And who was the other one? Was that Jack Meredith? So there's another car wide out onto, that's Nicholas Gregg out wide at turn number 5. And he is having troubles getting going as well. So long race ahead. That one of 81. But here is your order as they come down the back straight now. Refalo, Smith, Mello, Gregg, McKeown, Spivey, Hill, Callister, Meredith just got ahead of Slow, who I think's had an accident further back, has he? No, he's just getting muscled out of the way. Coming up through the staircase section now on the run down the Jones Straight. Runs out a little bit wide. Remember, they only have 8 cut warnings available to them throughout the race, otherwise they cop a drive-through penalty. John Slow looks to be actually fairly slow down that back straight. I wonder if there's already damage problems with that car. There may well be. But coming to complete the first lap now of this, the Australian Grand Prix. Refalo, Smith, Mello, Gregg, McKeown are your top 5. Josh Hill's had an accident further back. That's down, coming onto the hairpin. I imagine he's gotten up onto that curb or something similar and spun it round. Straight into the pits there was John Slow. He's come to repair some damage. Tyres will last a while with these cars. Pretty much all 3 compounds, soft, medium and hard. The hards can theoretically go the entire race, but I'm not sure if anyone will be able to. Was that a car spinning in the background? Oh, half spinning was Nick Mello, and now that's going to put him vulnerable to Nicholas Gregg, who's going to slide past him, his Project 4 teammate. Not as much teammates tonight. One's in a Williams, one's in a McLaren. So he just had a little moment. Here's Nick Mello. He's got Alex McKeown behind him in a Benetton. Just a little glance behind. See where he is. On to lap 3. Chris Refalo leads. And he was 8/10 faster on that lap than Riley Smith. There's already a gap of 3 seconds out in front. Nicholas Gregg is the fastest in the field at 1:23.790, and that was with executing a pass as well down that Jones Straight on Rundle Road. Are you impressed yet? I know all the corner names. Jack Meredith is off, and that is, he's trying to get it going again down at turn number 5. So I've got to watch out for those little mistakes that can make and break a race. As down the back straight they go. Mike Crick has also been involved in an accident. He's run off at coming onto the Jones Straight. That's at turn number 11, just in front of the Stag Hotel. 11th place for him. Did I say 11? I meant 9. And yeah, that Jordan seems fairly slow, especially compared to the Ferrari behind. Josh Hill potentially looking at making a pass. Now, cars are quite close. Oh, Riley Smith has had an off at, yeah, in that little link road on East Terrace between turn 4 and 5. So, and running out very wide there was Nick Mello, who's going to potentially come out side by side. Yeah, not quite. And we're very close to one another, however. And look at these 3 cars line of stern. It's a McLaren, a Williams and a Benetton. Through turn number 10, the Brewery Bend. Very fast. Not the fastest corner on the track, actually. That would belong to the first corner. And it should be the third, actually. Under braking, Riley Smith. Oh, there's a car off. Nicholas Gregg must have gone straight on. These cars have all been promoted. We just saw Nicholas Gregg appear from the right-hand side. So he must have outbroken himself down that chicane. Chris Refalo now leads by 8.4 seconds, and he's put in a fastest lap of a 23.017. And we'll see what these guys' times are as they cross the line. I don't imagine Nick Gregg's one will be too spectacular since he went off. The fastest is Alex Mckeown at 24.4. Oh, Spivey's just on a 23.4. There you go. So we watch this battle for second place. Oh, spinning car on the back. It's Nicholas Gregg again. And I don't know a lot about how these cars drive in the Assetto Corsa as Alex Mckeown slides past Nick Mello, potentially another mistake. I know they're very easy to make mistakes in, as I'm sure James Mckeown will show us. Yep, that's people are having trouble at that staircase early on in this race. Just a lot of spins and bumps of the wall. Josh Hill out very wide there. Not sure what that was about, but he dropped the position. Nicholas Gregg and Max Spivey. Oh, Max Spivey! Okay, so this is why Max Spivey has traded positions with Nicholas Gregg. It's because he was in the air. Evolution, yeah. No kidding. So he's down to 9th. There's a lot of different things going on at once, a lot of action. Josh Hill slides past James Knott. This is something with 13 car field as well, my goodness. Nick Mello has gone off. That's down at turn number 5. He'll be the first one to go off there in this race or in the Formula 1. Quick. But he's now got Nicholas Gregg hounding him from behind. And we'll see if he can make a pass down into the Brewery Bend. Look at how close he is. Going to be able to follow nicely. Is he get the run onto the straight he needs? Yes, right in the slipstream. Moves over to the left-hand side and will execute this pass in a pretty straightforward manner, I would say. Oh, not quite, because Mello's actually got the inside line here, of course. And he's going to muscle him out of the way. A little bit of contact. Left rear to right front there. Nothing much comes of it. Jack Callister now in the mirrors of these two. He was not very confident going in, but as long as he just keeps his nose clean, he may be on for a good result here. Chris Refalo still leads the way by 11.1 seconds. Only 7 laps in. Isn't that chicane just brilliant? Running out very wide there was Nick Mello, and yeah, Nicholas Gregg is going to try and switch back on him coming down into turn number 5. They're side by side through there. Now down towards turn number 6, and it just keeps going, these 90-degree left-right handers. Has to come back in a bit because this is a bit faster, this section. Maybe has a chance at turn number 11. You'd be mad to try at Brewery Bend, especially with those big curves waiting there. You go offline a bit and those curves will launch you, even into another car. Side by side. For 4th position, is Nicholas Gregg going to get past this time? No, he's not. Nick Mello will stay on the inside. Turns to the outside for the next 2 corners, but he'll try and force his way back onto the preferred line. Can't do it. 4th position for Nicholas Gregg. It's quite a good battle between them, and now Jack Callister wants a piece of it. Oh no, he's run wide. He's run wide and onto the grass, spun it round, lost a position to Paddy Donnelly in the process. It could be volatile to vulnerable, I should say, to Jack Meredith. I'm trying to find the word there for like 5 minutes. I hope you can all hear me okay. It's very loud cars. As Mello's gone for a little bit of a half spin coming out of turn number 5. That's quite a hot spot. I wouldn't think it would have been a hot spot, to be honest. I would have thought the first couple of corners, with how fast they are, your car's on edge the entire time. But no, people are really struggling to get back onto the power through those 90-degree second gear corners. Second or third in these Formula 1 cars? I'll go on board for the moment and have a look. They're definitely second in V8 supercars. Chris Refalo puts in the fast lap of the race at 1:21.973. Track grip, of course, ramps up as we go on. And it's a much finer day than it was in for the Grand Prix in 1991. Very sunny, 26 degrees. Now I hope that fuel meter is just a standard one, that because it might not be available to us, fuel data. But it says 20 litres on there. Now 20 litres won't get you the whole race. You can't refuel in this race in line with Formula 1 regulations of the time. Nick Mello's been making a fair few mistakes early on. Back to Jack Meredith. I assure you, I'm keeping one eye on Alex Mckeown. 2.8 seconds from Riley Smith. Could be on for second place fairly early on in this race at 10 of 81. Let's try and call this race while fumbling around with other stuff. Hang on. Oh, big spin here for Jack Meredith, and he is off, and that's what I was talking about before. That's where I expected the accidents to be. And that would be pretty severe damage to that car, I would think. Right, should be working now. Sorry, Matt, I can't hear you, Nick. Anyway, Mike Crick here. See the suspension. He's 2 seconds behind James Knott. Yeah, that's fine. So Nick Mello just talking to me there that his wheel desynced and now he's had to leave and rejoin and do all that. And he's gone a lap down as a result of it. Chris Refalo is actually lapping cars. He's gotten past not Crick and Slow. Slow's not had a great start to this race. He's been a bit unlucky with a few things. Let's go on. You know what? There's enough support for him in the chat. So I guess you're the replacement for the Justin Oates. I couldn't remember his name. Felt bad. The Justin Oates fan club. It's now become the Alex Mckeown fan club. Here he comes down into turn number 1. Leaps over those curves. Lap 12 of 81 in this Australian Grand Prix. It's in the Benetton Ford. That's the other thing. These are all different engines, I believe. What is the Jordan? Oh, can someone who has a good memory remind me what engine the Jordan ran in 1991? Now I can't remember. But you have this, the Ford, you have the McLaren Honda, you have the Williams Renault, and the Ferrari. Chris Refalo bangs in another fast lap, a 1:21.644. We'll have a look at the weather conditions. There they are, down in the corner. 99% track grip, it's increasing. And it should be up to optimal fairly soon. And yeah, 25 degrees. Track temperature 36, so just about perfect. Now, Max Spivey and Josh Hill have traded positions. Do you just let him pass? It kind of looked like that. Jordan had the Ford. Okay. I'm a bit worried with that ping bar for Jack Meredith. It looks a little higher than I would like. Max Spivey is going to be into the pit lane. So we'll see how long it takes for pit strategy to become a real thing in this. Finds his Nike-clad lollipop man. Change the tyres. Can't put any fuel in. Just make sure he hasn't. Track cut warnings look to be about 3 for a fair few people. Seems to be the common number. Riley Smith had an off. Why is my mouse not working? There we are. Yeah, last corner. And now here comes Alex Mckeown up behind. He's going to be snapping at his heels now for a shot at second place. 20 seconds now, Chris Refalo leads. But these two are a lot closer, 5/10 of a second. And I tell you what, a couple of mistakes and it can all go haywire. It's an incredibly demanding cars on an incredibly demanding track. Very fast and concrete lined. I say fast for a street circuit. Down to turn number 8. Ooh, grabbed a lot of curb there. That looked pretty nasty. Refalo, another fast lap of 1:21.0, so tyres are getting better with age, it looks like. 15 laps in, and not a problem at all. It'll be the decreasing fuel load as well, so of course no refueling in this. You have to fill up at the start, and I've heard reports that the cars are completely different on a full fuel load compared to an empty fuel load. Like night and day, like two different cars. Now up ahead of them, that would be the Williams of James Knott. It's gorgeous, that colour. And here go these two cars past them. There are blue flag regulations in force. Just because in sim racing it's a bit easier. Most of us avoid that first curve, but not the second at all. Simply bunny hop over that. We need to be careful, only 8 movements, I've mentioned. That's all around the track, that's not just at turn 1. Problem for Mike Crick. He's around. Where is that? Is that at turn number 6? I believe it is. Just trying to be careful getting it going again. Oh, there was a Benison just coming past there. That might have been Jack Callister. No, onto the Jones straight. So I can appreciate he's being careful to try and rejoin. Right on the back of him now. This is a chance for the move here. Oh, big snap of oversteer as he applied the power. Coming out of turn number 6 to Alex Mckeown there. Trying to chase down Riley Smith. He was right on him and had a chance to pass. But he's still close. Could be on for a move down at the Kettville hairpin. Biggest braking event on the track and the best chance for a pass because of it. Nothing coming there though. Alex in the H pattern Benetton, and then Riley Smith in the paddle shift Williams. Nearly went into the back of him there, and Alex needed to be extra cautious and ended up running over the grass at the first chicane, and now has dropped off a little bit now, so that's alright, plenty of time to go. Lap 18 of 81. Another pass on potentially for Nick Mello on James Knott, who had another little mistake a moment ago. He's going to try and dive it up the inside here at turn number 4, side by side on the run down towards, sorry, turn number 6, side by side on the run down towards the market corner, and he will get him. So Nick Mello up into 10th with that move, working his way up after having a wheel desync issue. 120.492, he stepped it up another level as Cruz Refalo. Has the track gone to 100, is that why? No, still 99, so just absolute blind on the lap. And he's been really consistent, and I've not seen that name flash red at all. So well done to him. I forgot I had a replay lined up from a while ago. This is of the mistake from Jack Meredith on lap. Oh, stopped. There we go. And yeah, grabbed too much curve at turn number 2. This was back on lap 10? Yeah, 10 it seems. Back live now. Our entries for our, if you really like the historic cars by the way, our entries for our Group A ATCC Championship, our second one with those cars, our third overall. Those open tomorrow to the public, so get on that. 9 o'clock tomorrow. Running with all the Group A cars, all the free ones, so you don't need to subscribe to any Patreons or anything. And we've got a 9-race calendar coming up. We've got a lot of, got some pretty cool ideas for race formats there. Bringing back the reverse grid, of course. We're also bringing in the, if you remember, back to the 1990s Australian touring cars. The Dash for Cash, except it's not for cash because we're too poor for that. Please give us a title sponsor, and we might consider. But it's going to be a 3-lap dash for the top, X in qualifying, maybe probably 6. At some rounds. So that'll be another fun little addition to it all. Max Spivey getting out of the way for Mckeown and Smith. Lap 20 of 81. We're in for a long race tonight. It's expected to be an hour and 3/4 long. No safety cars to slow us down. Has Mello made a mistake? Because James Knott has now just gotten back past. Looks like he might have. So could be on for a move once more to regain 10th position. And then it's 25 seconds to Max Spivey. So Spivey's absolutely in no man's land. 38 seconds to the car ahead and 25 seconds to the car behind. But these two are in a battle. Josh Hill seemed... Oh, his name flashed red. Yep. I was going to say he seems to be working his way up fairly nicely, but... He's had an incident down at turn 5 again. Again, turn 5. And he'll have to move out of the way because Chris Refalo's coming through to lap. This is like old Formula 1 where basically there's one guy on the lead lap. Not nearly as much unreliability though. Right, we're just keeping an eye on a couple of different things going on. Here's Riley Smith. Slide on the way into turn number 9 rather. This is turn 10. Perry the platypus on his car, but not a car number. His car number is 22, because it always is. But he hasn't put a car number on his, like the nose cone or anything. So 28.5 seconds is his gap to Chris Refalo, but he'll be more preoccupied with what's going on with Alex Mckeown behind. It's going to be a good battle that's going to stretch on most of the race, I imagine. Now, are we on for a one stop in this race? Josh Hill into the pit lane, so is John Slow. And here comes Josh Hill, actually, has to move out of the way, which he does. Mckeown's going to have a slightly tougher time because he got him a bit late coming into the braking zone. Just luck at the draw, I guess. Starting their 23rd lap, these two, 30 seconds to the race leader. Refalo, Smith, Mckeown, Greg, Donnelly, Callister, Meredith, Hill, Spivey, Knott, Mello, Crick and Slow is your order. 13 cars on track tonight. It's a pretty decent field. I'm enjoying just listening to the sounds of these cars as they roar around the street circuit. And they're just such different beasts compared to what we usually race with, the touring cars, and we've had low power one make series, and then also cars that have a lot more grip or a lot less power. When we do open wheels, for example, modern day Formula 1 or Formula 3 or State of Origin, which I should mention. No, I shouldn't. Oh, car on the wall just ahead here. Is that going to be a hindrance? It is a little bit. Was that Mike Crick? I think it might have been. Yes, it is. And he's still on the apex at turn 3, and everyone's going to have to be very careful getting around. Caution on the apex turn 3. Alright, clear. I might have saved that replay too late, and hopefully we can get an idea of what happened. No, it's going to be too late. But we'll keep watching Alex Mckeown as he chases down Riley Smith. Car number 22. Through the hairpin, he's in the Williams. Renault. That car's not coming up in his mirrors, is it? Oh, Jack Callister's had a problem. That is down... Where is that? Oh, the run to... Yeah, on the Jones Straight, so... Once more getting on the power, I imagine. How's that for a view? Right up close. Four-tenths of a second separate Riley Smith and Alex Mckeown, but you can see it on the road there. Extremely close. Mike Crick has gone into the pits probably to repair that damage from that accident earlier down at turn number 3. Eight-tenths of a second now. So gap's come out just a little bit. 26 of 81. Tell you what, Jack Callister's up behind Jack Meredith, ABR teammates. They raced together at the Bathurst 1000, our last event at the start of October. It's been a while, about 2 months or so on a hiatus here at Velocity Racing League, but we're back. We're going to be back with this event and the Australian Touring Car Championship, which kicks off in 2 weeks' time. So get on to that. We've got a Discord server, that link in the YouTube description. If you join that, you'll be able to sign up to Australian Touring Cars once that opens tomorrow. Now, Riley Smith is passing a lapped car here. That is... It's a McKeown. Who is that? Oh no, it's Mike Crick. Okay, sorry, it's the Jordan. It's the red and white that got me confused, and I thought it might have been one of the plainclothes McLaren. Clothed. What am I missing? Accident for Nicholas Gregg, and that's that corner again. And he's going to have to try and get himself out of that mess at turn number 5 once more. He'll be position 5 when he comes out, with Jack Meredith approaching. Only 9/10 of a second between Meredith and Callister as well. This little standoff has been bubbling away for a while. These two drivers being incredibly consistent. Riley Smith I'm really impressed with tonight. Seems to go quite well in the old open wheelers, and keep an eye out for him in Formula 1, I'm sure, once we start that up. Modern day Formula 1, 2022 regulations. That's coming in April, so again, check that out. We'll go back to the battle for 6th here, because Jack Meredith and Jack Callister, the two Jacks, are running nose to tail down towards the Brewery Bend. Ooh, ugly bit of curve there for Callister, it looked like. But he's going to run side by side, got the run, and he gets past. There might have been a little tap on the way through, and now Meredith is going to try and dive back up the inside. He got the slipstream and managed to get a run back on him, and the car's just stopped on the corner. Trying to weave his way. Sixth place Jack Meredith. Refalo puts in a 20.2 fastest lap. He leads by 37 seconds as Meredith holds off Callister. Nicholas Gregg went through the pit lane there, probably to repair some damage. Here's a view of Alex Mckeown. I can't believe I have gone this entire time and not put show tyres in the tower. There you go. Those are the tyre compounds. So if I remember correctly, I just refer to them as hard, medium, soft. The C is the softest. There you go. So Alex Mckeown's on the hardest tyre, and then Refalo, Gregg, and Mello are on the intermediate tyre. Except not the intermediate tyre, because the intermediate tyre is what we use in the wet, isn't it? But the medium tyre. And Smith, Donnelly, Meredith, Callister, Hill, Spivey, Knott, Slow, and Crick are on the softest compound. This tyre's not going to be done any favours there. Mike Crick off the road once more at turn number 9. Round tyres, you jokers. Two laps remaining. Neither driver here wants to make too rash a move. You saw Meredith and Callister bumping a fair bit. So they got up to one another. But these two are a lot more cautious. Kuhn's just been stalking. Now we've got that information. Thank you, Scott McKeown, who reminded me about, or made me remember that there's a tyre thing on this timing tower. Paddy Donnelly having it off. That is at turn number 6. Again, no real problems down the other end of the track. It's this first half where people are just getting back onto the power. Trouble with. I was thinking, is Nicholas Gregg close-ish, but no, he's got 28 seconds. So Nick would have lost about 30 seconds or so from that accident and pit stop. John Slow, that's once more turn number 5 onto Flinders Street. Definitely a hot spot. Leaping over the curbs for this battle for position number 2. Medium tyres I don't believe will go the distance, like the entire way. I think the hards can. Clearly, no one except Alex Mckeown's on the hards. So everyone else will have to pit. Even with a no-stop strategy, it doesn't look like it might be enough to win this race because Refalo's already got a pit stop over him. And it's a very short pit lane here. Of course, Refalo, as we said. Another fast lap, a 1:20.140. 50 laps to go here in Adelaide. It's back to another Benetton, so there's 3 in the field. Absolutely flying over the curves is Jack Callister. Oh, gearbox problem, is it? Yeah, it's down in neutral, and he's going to pull off to the side, and that might be the end for Jack Callister. What's happened to him? Has he just blown up the gearbox, or because the engine's still running? Let's get our telemetry up. pedals. I'm looking for pedals. Yeah. That's a strange one. Wow, so Jack Callister looks to be out of this race. As we watch Alex Mckeown now. Once more. I was in the side. Yep, DNF for him, so. Looks like we will be joined by Jack Callister in the commentary box. Jack Meredith into the pit lane. We'll see what tyres he fits. We'll keep checking that gap as well between Smith and Mckeown, 1.4 seconds. We've got to be looking at other things as well. Is that just a drive straight through? Let's check out
a drive through.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there you go. You know how I was saying that I was going to blow the gearbox? Yep. In my defense, you know how Mello ages ago was, I think it was Mello, he was complaining about how his Logitech shifter was sometimes, even though it was in gear, it was just like coming out of gear. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
Yeah, well, anyway, Mello was complaining about that ages ago, and that's happening to mine. So down the straights, especially fourth for some reason, it would keep on just like coming out of gear, but then it was acting as if it would come out of gear. Then I was immediately trying to put it back into gear without using the clutch, which was obviously breaking the gearbox, and yeah. So I had no chance of making it to the end. Like, it wasn't even my fault. It wasn't even my poor drive. It was just the shifter's broken. So I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do for ATCC, but I guess we'll see.
Smith moves past Mello. That's to lapping. Very similar looking cars. They've both gone with that sort of teal. Teal?
Yeah, like very, very bright blue.
That's what I was thinking.
Got there in the end.
Right, slightly bumped. Meredith back through the pit lane.
Again?
Oh, for an actual pit stop this time.
Hey.
And so is John Slow. So we'll see what tyres he puts on. See, we've got the little graphic there, which you probably can't read because of the bit right. But if you go to the live stream, you'll be able to see.
Is that on the right? The like A, B, C, whatever?
Yep.
No, I can do that. Your bit rate is actually like the best I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Everything's readable.
Amazing.
I know.
Have I dropped a frame? No.
So how's the race actually been going? Because apart from the disaster at turn 1, which we all knew was going to happen, I was kind of just like trying to get the car around every lap.
You know, there's a lot of people having problems in the staircase section. And I was thinking just trying to get the power on. Is Paddy Donnelly going to demonstrate this? He is, down at turn number 5. So, people seem to be having the most trouble at turn number 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's the staircase, especially on this version of the map, which is actually quite a good thing. I like it, but what makes it incredibly difficult is how unbelievably bumpy it is there. So, what I was complaining about earlier, and I somehow seem to have magically fixed it for the race because my car seemed to be okay, but through practice, what happens a lot is your throttle percentage stays the same, but then all of a sudden the car will hit a small bump, and even if it's in second gear, it'll still just light up the rear tyres. And so that, and it's so easy to do, especially coming out of this turn right here. There's lots of bumps near the exit, and the car is just so prone to burst into wheel spin on you. Someone else is around.
So James Knott trying to get going again at turn number 5. He's going to have to be careful with a couple of cars coming through, actually. It's Meredith and Hill who are right next to one another. Meredith is on the softest compound now after that pit stop, and Donnelly's in as well. So some pit stop action going on.
I actually got to have a bit of a battle with Meredith for a bit. I was enjoying that. And my gearbox just exploded. Coming out of turn 3, I just felt it going to neutral again, and then that was it. It had nothing else. The shame though, I was doing a fair bit better than I thought, considering where I qualified. Crap battle here for second place right now.
It's been going on for, like, no kidding, 20 laps or so.
Truth.
Just nose to tail.
Unsurprisingly, Refalo was absolutely he's just checked out, he's gone.
It's the only runner, oh no, Mello as well. No, Greg as well, don't forget what I said. I was going to say the only runner on the B compound, but I should have actually looked at to see who was on the B compound first.
So is it C, softest, B,
Yes.
medium, and A, hard?
Yep.
Yeah, right, okay.
Alex McKeown is, I'm guessing, trying to go all the way.
Oh, he is on the hards, yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, people were saying that was a strategy option, but a lot of people, I think, were scared of cutting the track too many times, staying out for that long on the same set of tyres.
They're side by side, and I'm away from it, of course. So Riley Smith has managed to hold off Alex McKeown.
For now.
I watched for 20 laps, of course. Anyway.
Look away for one goddamn second.
But we'll stay on board with it now, because here is Alex McKeown trying to go for second place, now down towards the centre chicane. This won't be a passing opportunity here, it's simply too fast. But there could be a chance at turn number 4.
He made some ground on the brakes, then just lost it ever so slightly on the exit. So I reckon he'll tuck in, yep. McKeown, I mean. Just looking for a way past Riley. Quite impressive considering he's on the hard tyre. I've never even driven on it. I've never even driven these cars until I think yesterday.
How's the preparation, mate?
Look, alright, I have never really cared about Formula 1. Still don't. I'm still waiting on the new cars before I get interested in Formula 1 IRL. Because right now I just have...
Are you serious? Have you seen this year's championship battle, mate?
I know, and I have tried a good 2 or 3 times to get interested in Formula 1 over the last few years. And each time, I swear, every time I got interested, Lewis Hamilton just started winning every single race, and I was like, right, look at this. So now I'm just not going to watch, so Lewis Hamilton doesn't start winning it all again.
Nicholas Gregg, guess where? Wakefield corner, actually, turn number 4. So a little bit earlier than usual. It's had a little bit of an off there. 45 seconds off these two. Let's have a look at how many cars Refalo's lapped. I imagine it's up to 4th. Where is it? There you go, 3 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, I remember I got lapped on lap 20 and I was like, oh dude, are you kidding me already? Well, barely halfway through the first, barely a quarter of the way through the race. And I was being lapped, I'm like, oh, this is depressing. I don't really expect much less, but still depressing. To a lapped car now, I've got no idea who that is. It's a car. Gets out of the way, good work. Coming up to this stupid turn that doesn't deserve to exist, I hate it.
That's Mike Crick, by the way. It's funny that when they brought in the Nicholas Gregg in the pits, probably damage, when they brought in the V8 Supercar race here in 1999, the corner, turn 8 was very different. It was much more like that one.
I have seen footage of it, yes. They had basically a chicane almost, kind of. Speed-wise it was.
Brad Jones.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a few clips from it. Floating around on YouTube.
Actually, that corner, the Brewery Bend here, has its own touring car rollover moment as well with Mark Scaife in 1990. And the funniest thing about it is just big Darren Eastlake doing the commentary. That's a huge accident.
I want to see this. I'm going to look it up later. But I hate that corner. It's terrible. Honestly, the only reason I hate it is because the bloody track limits are so brutal there. You essentially, the easiest way to describe it is you aren't allowed more than 2 wheels on either one of the curbs. So the inside on the right, so there, or the outside on the left. like you're not one pixel of the outside set of tyres compared to the curbs is allowed to touch them, or it's an instant cut. So that's what will be getting a lot of people. Jack Meredith, for example, we saw him during the pit lane earlier. I can almost guarantee you that would have been why. Because it's so easy to pick up a cut there, and just sort of due to the nature of the corner and the speed of the corner and that long back straight, it's really hard to slow down enough to avoid the penalty coming in. It usually comes in really quite quickly because it's a fast corner. So most of the time, pretty much once you cut it, it's just all over. That's a cut. I think even I'd already used almost half of mine. So by now in the race, if I was still there, I probably would have been in the pit lane. Tell you what, the onboard's great though. Gives a bit of an insight to just how bumpy the track is. You can see how hard the suspension there, front and left of Mckeown's car, is working.
Yeah, apart from the big bloody mirror in the way.
I was going to comment on it. Oh, actually, that was a good shot looking at the back.
Here's his suspension.
Shot, yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, I'll go to Riley's one for that. Josh Hill through the pit lane. Now, just check my chat logs. Nick Mello's used up all 8 of his warnings. Nicholas Miller's on 6. James Knott is on 6. Josh Hill is on 5. And Riley Smith looks to be on 3. So
I think even Nick was saying. Yeah, I think even Nick was saying that he would be happy if he only gets one drive through. He said. Just look at the wheels. They're the rear wheels of Riley Smith's car here. They're just working the entire lap. There's so many bumps, which I really, really like. Oi, Mckeown has a little bit of a sliding exit of the final turn. A lot of tracks don't really have very significant bumps, and most cars just kind of float over them, really, for the most part. So I really quite like how bumpy the track is. It's obviously very difficult, especially for a guy who is notoriously atrocious at driving open-wheel race cars. Me. It was incredibly challenging, but I really, really enjoyed the bumps. I really loved that, and I wish there was a lot more of it in Assetto Corsa at least. Riley's actually dropped Mckeown slightly now, so Mckeown hasn't had a very good run through the staircase by the looks of things.
It's something street circuits in Assetto Corsa seem to lack the modern circuits. A lot of them, like the real raw nature of a street circuit, where it's bumpy and the big curves and you hear about the painted white lines and the manhole covers and all that.
Yeah, that's something I really like. Even just like surface changes. Can you imagine how cool Sandown would be if it was actually represented realistically? Because Sandown has the most different surfaces of any racetrack in Australia. It's the racetrack at this point is basically a whole bunch of patches. Which sounds dodgy, but it makes it quite a unique racetrack because you really don't get a lot of that. Yeah, well, very strange, but you really don't get a lot of that anywhere, really. So, in an odd way, like it sounds dodgy and cheap and whatever the rest of it, but it actually gives it quite a unique characteristic because there really is nothing quite like it. It's almost street circuit-esque in how many different surfaces there are, and that would be something really cool to see emulated in games where you go into one turn and have lots of grip, then the very next turn it's an old surface and you got no grip. It really challenged drivers, and I personally really sort of long for that kind of extra emphasis on simulation. A lot of people don't, but I really quite like that kind of thing and really live for it and enjoy it.
A lot of
Hence
the
why I
newer
like.
mods a lot of the newer mods are starting to get a bit more of that that extra element in it. There's a relatively new version of Mid-Ohio, I think, and Mid-Ohio is a track in the US IndyCar right there. It's notoriously bumpy and it's really well represented.
Which is good to hear.
There's this version, there's
This is good.
Newcastle Street Circuit.
Rather
Riley
pits.
Smith into the pits.
Which I think, given the standard strategy, is about right. Because the standard strategy seemed to be just run about half the race on softs, pit for softs, and go back out. Which is what I was going to do, had I not had gearbox drama. So I'm going to safely assume that's what Riley does here. We'll wait for the indication. Yeah, there you go. Back out in softs. We'll see if he'll be able to chase down Mckeown.
How's that in
Yeah, what is that?
That's Perry the Platypus.
I heard them. I think it actually was Riley talking about. He was doing something with his helmet, or like they're talking about something with skins, and I haven't really been paying that much attention to Discord recently. I've had work and just other things going on. But yeah, I did hear him talking about it earlier when I was on a call.
The other cool thing about these helmets is you can see into like the clear, and you can see the eye. That's not a good example. That's a slightly better example. So that's Ayrton Senna's eyes.
Right. What, did I just get a picture and put it in the background?
Yeah. You should see. Oh my god. The
Truth.
There's a motor race going on, I know, but I will bring up a picture of what it looks like. The face.
Oh, have you got like the actual file or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh yes, no,
Actually,
I want to see that.
I'll
Look at the
get-
motor race. Look, the closest gap is like 6 seconds and a half.
I'll get Manson's one because it's
Funny.
I think he's the most stoned.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say before, while you're finding that, is a game I really like because I yearn for that kind of extra realism is BeamNG Drive. Even though it's still in early access or beta or whatever it is classified as.
Still.
Yeah, still. It is forever. Here it is. It's literally just like a PNG with just the mask thing pasted over the top.
What is that thing at the bottom left? Ew.
I don't think we should ask too many questions. But yeah, personally, that's a game I really enjoy, BeamNG, because it just simulates a lot more of the cars, and obviously, yeah, early access, it's got a long way to go. But I've been following it for a number of years now, and it's really, especially in the last probably year and a half, 2 years, it's come a long way. Now, what the hell are we looking at here?
I didn't realise he put Boris Johnson's face on.
It's Boris Johnson. Oh my god! Oh, damn, I should have put like Daniel Andrews on it or something. Put
Is
Gladdy
James
on
not
it.
coming out a bit late? Oh, slow away. Oh, there's a car coming around, that's why. So it's Riley Smith.
Oh, no.
He's lit it up. Trying to get it going again and just
Oh,
grab
so
the wall.
easy.
He's just been through the pit lane as well, so hopefully there's
Yeah.
not too much damage from it.
And I think at slower speeds, the damage really doesn't seem to pick up in these cars. I kind of noticed near the start and in practice at one point. If you're going slow enough, it pretty much doesn't even detect damage at all. So I would imagine that's fine. If not, it'd be like a very light yellow front wing or something, which doesn't really make much of a difference. So it'll be fine.
Go on board with Chris Refalo. Oh, I was going to say 19.3. He absolutely smashed his fastest lap. Nicholas Gregg's just done a 19.1. So it's a combination of low fuel loads, brand new tyres for at least Nick's got brand new tyres. Has he? Yeah, something like that. And I think the track grip must have gone up to 100% as well. It's just clicked over.
Yeah, probably. I set my personal best lap and it was like a 22.1 or something. That's the best I can do.
That's what I was saying
Granted-
before. It's such a massive gap between the good
Yeah.
and the very good in these cars.
Well, yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Granted, I'm a really bad example because I'm just shocking in any form of open wheeler. Even if it's a like really slow car, you know, like think Formula Ford kind of thing.
Get
I'm
the
still
spoiler
terrible.
there.
Yeah, but like anything the second it's what is Jack Meredith done?
That is a long way down the straight, actually.
That's what I was just thinking. That's a really long. I'm wondering if maybe he's come out the final turn, he's had two wheels in the grass and just sort of couldn't get the car off the grass, and it's eventually spun on him. Perhaps is the only reasonable thing I can think of. Because it can sometimes happen in a lot of games. Really, Assetto Corsa is actually relatively decent, but some games, I think Project Cars comes to mind, are really bad for it. In a lot of racing games, you put two wheels out in the dirt, you know, off the edge of the circuit, and it can sometimes be really quite a challenge to actually get the car back onto the track. The grass really kind of tries to hold the car and drag the car off the circuit completely, and I believe Predator Cars from memory was, at least the original one, was relatively bad for that. But yeah, that's the only reasonable explanation I can think of for why Jack Meredith would be spun so far down. Unless he spun earlier and like tried to do a flick spin and screwed it up or something.
Potentially.
I mean, also got a big contact with another car.
Yeah.
I noticed the big KFC on the rear wing. That's about all I've seen. Oh, wait.
Yeah, wide coming into the race course. Ran out into the grass, couldn't manage to grab a hold of it. Now, we have a battle because Max Spivey and Josh Hill, what did I say wrong?
Morris Johnson.
Right up. Next one of the line. Chris Refalo's name has gone red and Riley Smith is into the pits. Chris Refalo has had a crash down at turn number 1. Now, I was just about to mention that Alex Mckeown looks to be holding or slightly closing the margin, and this could be something that throws the race back up into the air.
Gosh, can you imagine if we actually had safety cars in this?
Alex Mckeown into the pits. So he's not going the nose stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Why would it be on the hard tyre? Yeah. Maybe my only wonder is he's so far behind already. Do you reckon he's put on softs? He's put on mediums. Because my wonder was gonna be, is he gonna put on a softer tyre because he's already so far behind? Does he go put a softer tyre on to try and hunt down Refalo? That's my wonder. So we might have to wait a good 10-15 laps to see this start to play out. There's Riley Smith right there. This battle might resume.
Yeah, now I tell you what, he's just jumped him. So McKeown's up into second, jumping Riley Smith in that.
Oh yeah.
Pit lane. Pit sequence. Riley Smith now on the back of him.
I just wasn't expecting McKeown to pit. I was expecting him to go the whole way on those hard tyres.
Here we are, side by side.
Upside down the long ass back straight.
He's quite thought he was going to come across.
He's tucking in, trying to get a little bit of extra slipstream, get a little bit of extra pace down to the hairpin. Going to take a wide turn in, looking for a faster exit. Riley Smith parks his car though. Very smart. Didn't allow McKeown to get past him. Riley Smith a little bit wide though. Riley Smith currently in front, but not by a lot. And McKeown on fresh tyres, you imagine in about a lap or so, it'll just be a matter of time almost, basically.
You'd think so. What's the gap between the tyres? Probably about 10 laps, I want to say.
Yeah, give or take, yep.
Someone in the chat want to go back and find out for us.
Let's just go back and
I should be writing this stuff down, but I haven't got enough space in my brain to be able to do that.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, that's way too much for one person to do, to flop cameras, to commentate, and to write notes. Max Spivey.
That's why I've been saying, if any of you in the chat want to be a strategy reporter, then get on to me, please, because...
Or pit lane reporter.
I'll
go find our Discord.
Someone who keeps up to date with the strategy and everything. Of course, our next series is ATCC, and there's not too much in the way of time and strategy. But after that,
Supercars
for me, right?
Yeah, Formula 1, that's right.
Any other things we think about? S5000.
See S5000, I would be tempted to compete in. Or at least maybe wildcard once or twice. Because I may be terrible at who's that?
That's Max Spivey. That's right. Stroke there. In the Nike car. Nick Mello's also had an off.
I can't lie, I just saw a red car. Mello's not doing anywhere near as well as I thought he would. I was beating him for a time, granted he disconnected at one point. But even without that, I still had like a mountain of pace over him. So, considering he absolutely destroyed me qualifying. Probably Cook's rears now.
Yeah.
Which is quite easy to do. I mean, I don't know what temperature is normal for these cars. I mean, I quite literally know nothing. But,
And that's why you're our expert commentator for tonight.
oh yeah. I'm the experienced commentator, not an expert, there's a difference. But my is they were at about 100 degrees almost going along here.
Ooh.
So, if someone knows more than I do, I don't know.
Do you want to throw
This-
something else in the mix? Chris Refalo,
What?
RP cutting warnings, 8 out of 8.
Oh.
So the
Okay,
equivalent
that
of
could
the
be
bad sportsmanship flag has come out for him.
Yeah, that's a fair. Yeah, you're right. That's effectively a bad sportsmanship flag for Refalo. So, if he gets one more cut warning at, well, the most likely places are the turns I was saying earlier, coming onto the long back straight. Or you can actually, if you screw it up enough, get one through this 1-2-3 chicane at the start of the lap that we're about to watch. Yeah. If you screw it up badly enough, you can get a cut there easily enough too. Or in the exit of turn 3, which we just came through. If you run wide enough, you can get one there too. So there's a couple spots. So Refalo has no more chances. How many is Mckeown on? Do we have a number on that?
Oh, I need to just scroll. Hang on. 4.
Refalo says the fastest lap of 1:18.9. Beats out Nick's 1:19.1, I believe it was.
Oh, Nick's just beat it. There you are, 18.7. So
Maybe the track grip has gone up.
again,
Again?
they've beaten the fastest laps by not an insignificant amount at the same time.
Because when I died, when my gearbox went kabang, the track grip and stuff, I think them was still at 98%. I bet you it's just got up to 100. Because it was at 98%, and when did I die? About lap 30.
I think it's been at 100 before.
You think? I just know that when I died, I'm pretty sure when I died it was still at 98.
Not sure.
Yeah. There you go, that could be interesting for Refalo. He could get a drive-through like we saw. I hate to pick on him, but it's just the main car. I've seen Jack Meredith. We saw him with a drive-through earlier in the race. I don't want to pick on him, but I haven't seen anyone else take a drive-through. So we could see Refalo taking the same thing, and at least it's not a terribly long pit lane, but still a fair punishment, and he would have Riley Smith and Mckeown closing in on him. Riley Smith on the soft tyres, and Mckeown on the medium. So Mckeown might be stronger later in the race. So Riley Smith is in second, but you kind of get the feeling that might be a for now kind of thing. Here we are, the man.
With your race lead.
Yep, with the bad sportsmanship flag, effectively. Oh, you bit of slide.
Jack Meredith's already up to 6 out of 8.
Again.
It's funny. So when we went to the Gold Coast for V8 Supercars, there was a lot of concern about track cutting because it's fairly strict. There's big curbs and it's quite difficult to get through those in one piece. Is that one? That is, right. Drive through for cutting, Chris Refalo.
I was just about to say, didn't I say earlier you can't have all four wheels on the curb? And there you go. Proven correct.
Wow.
So this this makes things a bit interesting. So this isn't a guaranteed loss yet for Refalo. It just means that comfortable 50-odd second cushion that he has is going to be a fair bit less. Does he take it this lap? Yes, he does. Straight in. Yep. Get it over and done with. Smart. Oh!
Let it
Truth! He almost bloody crashes.
Everything.
Yeah, I know. He almost crashes in pit lane.
Shows you how much raw power these cars have, and he's going to come out in a little bit
Much
of traffic
horsepower.
as well. Needs to be careful.
Oh, he's going to
Couldn't
slot in
really
just
do too
behind.
much.
And probably put a move immediately on in turn 4. Oh, he looked for it. Been given plenty. It's so funny. Yeah, we're used to seeing Refalo gets through. We're so used to seeing ATCC supercars, touring cars, where there's just crashes all the time because people don't give each other room. It is hilarious how much room some people are giving in these Formula 1 cars. Everyone's just terrified of them. It's something I do often comment on from everyone, including myself sometimes. Even I make mistakes now and then. But just giving space, it's such an important thing. And yeah, in these Formula 1 cars, I've noticed, we've seen quite a few. Would you say so?
I'm trying to figure out what the blue car is, because... Oh, the blue, man. It's all these different kinds of blue.
Too much, can't handle it. So, I think in all, that's only cost Refalo about 10 seconds. Almost exactly. Is that right?
Yeah.
Truth, that's like, what a weirdly round number. So, a 51 second gap's come down to a 41 second gap, which is obviously still substantial, but oh jeez, big slide for Nicholas, I believe that was, yeah.
Yeah. Josh Hill is around. I thought he was
Oh, and gone.
gone.
What happened to Mello
Actually
earlier?
gone
Do you
from
know?
the server. His wheel desynced. Meredith has just shouted to me again instead of the his team chat. Made a mistake. Oh, another one. Round again at
comment?
turn number 6.
Decent flick spin at least, but oh no. I'll tell you what though, this is actually the first time. This race was good for me though, at least, just to test a lot of my new hardware, because I've gotten a lot of different stuff since the conclusion of Supercars. So for me, honestly, more than anything else, it was good to just get back behind the wheel for the first time in ages, and just to test out a lot of my new stuff.
See if we get a message from Josh Hill about that retirement. He's spun out coming onto the main straight, and well, maybe he's had enough. Here comes Nicholas Gregg rolling through the pit lane, and it's only 11.4 seconds in there, so that'll be a drive-through. Yep. I was going to make the point before Refalo rudely interrupted me by cutting the corner. Cheating. That when we went to the Gold Coast, there was a lot of concern about the number of track cuts. But despite it being very easy to cut, in theory, because of the big curbs and there's fine margins and all the rest, high speeds, I think only one person got a drive-through there.
That sounds right. I think a lot of that was because because when you first released the updated track cuts, we were all used to the previous version where you were really kind of throwing the car over the curbs, more akin to real life, because the Gold Coast circuit in Assetto Corsa is, I mean, it's a crime against humanity how unrealistic it is. It's shocking.
It's not that.
And so
is it?
it's pretty bad. It's pretty
Have you tried
bad.
the other one, the 2011 one? Ooh, comes from R Factor.
Oy, yeah, you've piqued my attention there.
Actually, the one we've got now comes from the 2012 version from R Factor, and then there's another one from 2011.
Right, we'll have to give it a try because it's pretty. The curbs are pretty bad. But anyway, point I was eventually gonna the point I was eventually gonna circle back around to was you made the cuts on the curbs themselves effectively more realistic in terms of you can't just send all four wheels over the curb. Similar to how the curb rules are applied here in this race. And a lot of people were just worried about the track cuts because we were so used to sending the car over. And so you had to readjust and slow down a lot more, where it felt really quite unnatural. You got used to it eventually, but it was really weird.
Refalo comes across the line. 58 laps now. Was there a bit of server lag just then?
Oh gosh.
I don't think so.
It wouldn't be a VRL race with the server.
I've just got a message from Paddy Donnelly saying, was there a bit of server lag there?
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully it's all good. It's a long race, and these guys would not be happy if it didn't finish. And rightfully so. 23 laps remaining. When Chris Refalo next crosses the line. As we continue watching the battle for second, the stalemate for second.
Pretty honestly, it's pretty much where we're at currently.
Not sure if Mckeown can really get close enough to be in a passing position.
Yeah, not currently. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure if he'd be trying to push as hard as possible or wait for Riley to come to him because of the different tyres. I don't really know enough about how these tyres behave.
There you go. 2 cars are 1 lap down, 1 car is 2 laps down, 2 cars are 3 laps down, 2 cars are 4 laps down, and 1 is 6 laps down. So 3 on the lead lap.
Good.
And it's very... Oh, Nicholas Craig again. A lot of those little errors.
Almost everybody has.
How many can
Oh,
he have,
into the
actually?
wall.
Oh, he's done the Schumacher. This comes on Flinders Street.
Yeah, near the start of the race, I'd actually caught up to Nick for a few laps for a time because he made a massive mistake early on, and even I had caught up to him. I'm kind of bummed out a bit that my gearbox died because with each passing lap, I was slowly, the key word is slowly, getting more comfortable with the car each lap and understanding it more, understanding what it wants to do, what it wants from the driver. So it's a bit of a shame it died because I was starting to get into a rhythm, which, especially for my racing, Mr. Consistency, that's when I become a bit of a threat. If I can find a rhythm, I usually start to go well. Yeah, look at the Bathurst 1000 for example. So.
All of these little mistakes have meant that Paddy Donnelly is somewhat in view of Nicholas Gregg here, 4 seconds.
I mean, in this race, that's a pretty close gap.
Time. It's mainly because, like I said, there's such a big difference in what people can get out of these cars. It's not necessarily, well, it is their skill, but like in V8 supercars, for example, the field would probably be a lot closer because doesn't seem to be as much that you can get out of it as a driver to go that extra mile.
Unless you're Chris Refalo, he's insane.
I'm hoping I'm making sense.
Yeah, no, a little bit. You're kind of saying that with these cars, you get a massive gain from driving them right on the very edge of grip, whereas that effect isn't as profound in the supercars. Driving on the edge of grip does make you faster, but it's not, 7 seconds a lap faster or however slow I was.
Let's watch someone drive on the edge of grip.
Refalo, he's an absolute master of it. Especially watching him in supercars is absolutely insane. On the exit of most corners, he's pretty much holding the steering wheel straight. Not that the car's off the corner that straight, but the car's just ever so slightly starting to power slide off the edge of the corner, but not enough where he actually has to put opposite lock on. He just watching him is absolutely insane. He just drives it when the tyres are just starting to spin, but not spinning enough where it's slowing him down. It's a really hard skill to master, and you see often drivers, so the two that come to mind are Jamie Whincup back in his heyday anyway, and especially Scott McLaughlin in his couple years of glory in supercars. That's what they were able to do that most other people could never really do, was just drive the car on that absolute, just slightly beyond the limit of grip, is where the car will usually be fastest, when the tyres are just starting to slide, but they're not sliding so much that the car's losing speed from it. is the best way I can think to explain it. And that's why you saw Whincup and McLaughlin dominate in their respective heydays, if you will, because they were able to do that. James Not here flick spins the car around and tries to get it underway. It's actually quite hard. First gear is quite tall in these cars, so it's hard to get them back underway once you spun.
Got it up onto the curb as well, which shouldn't help.
Exactly, unless you just absolutely gas it up.
Chris Refalo, I think we were on board with him. He did one downshift into that hairpin.
Well, I think that's the best way to do it. I actually think that's the fastest way to do it, or the easiest way to keep the car stable. I'm too much of a touring car driver. I couldn't do it. My strategy was going from 6th to 4th to 2nd, and a lot of the time in that hairpin I was actually using 1st. So I'd go 6th, 4th, 2nd, then up into 1st. Just kind of as I was turning into the apex.
The hell was that?
That was my phone ringing. Do you like it?
Bring back the trumpets.
Yeah, it's the Top Gear theme song. It's so good. All the stock Samsung ones suck ass. They're all so bad. So I was like, right, let's get something interesting. And I thought, you know what? Just for a laugh, let's get the Top Gear theme. And so that's been my ringtone ever since, because I'm like, I kind of like it now. So I haven't changed it since that day that I changed it ages ago. Pretty easy on Samsung. You just literally download a file and say, yeah, use this file. That's about it. So it works well.
Decent slide from Paddy Donnelly coming out of the Adelaide hairpin that time there. He was quite close actually to Nicholas Gregg. This is going to be our next little battle, I imagine, to keep an eye on for 4th position. So we've got... It's funny, we haven't got many battles, but we've got them in places that count, 2nd and 4th. As in, place that count further up the field.
The podium, that's the word.
Except... almost.
Yeah, close enough.
The top 6 to get points. You know that Formula 1, for many years, it was the top 5 gets points.
Oh, how?
Everyone else
So
goes.
you basically have to be God, or you don't get points. Given how hard these cars are to drive.
And then up until 1990, I think it is, you drop your worst 5 rounds, and that's your final points tally.
Can you explain to me? I've never been able to figure it out. What the point is of dropping the worst rounds?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. But
Okay, great. Yeah, because I don't know either.
I kind of want to experiment with it in here with something because of like at the moment because people don't do this professionally, obviously, right? There's no contracts, there's no obligation to run these races, and people have other things on. So if you drop your worst 1 or 2 races, and
They could effectively be the races that you might have to miss because you've got, work or whatever else on. Is there a crash there? Quite likely.
Yeah, between Mello and Crick, who are 8th and 11th, and Jack Meredith's name also flashed red for a moment there as well as he gets going. A little bit further back on the road, but further up in the standings, 6th, 8th and 11th. Oh, we've just caught Paddy
What's going on here?
Lit it up once more out of that turn 16 hairpin. Grabbed the wall, actually. Now these guys are coming up to Max Spivey, who, by the way, 2 positions below Donnelly. And as he gets out of the way, a little bit of an awkward place. Just on the exit of turn number 4 there. Have a chat to us, chat.
How many viewers have we got?
We've got we claim to have 8 on YouTube.
On YouTube.
98 playbacks. So actually, that's pretty good.
How many people miss supercars?
It'll be back in due course. Don't worry.
I both miss it and don't miss it. It's actually been so nice. I pretty much haven't touched my racing wheel since the end of the 1000. I pretty much haven't driven anything until this weekend. And it's actually been a really nice break, because that supercar season, especially for a sim racing league, like, and this isn't a complaint, this is just like, you know, an observation, is it was a long season. There was a lot of races, many of which, you know, were quite challenging and took a lot of practice and effort to do well in. So it's been really nice having a break from sim racing. But you know, I think that's the best supercar season we've had yet by far. It was really good.
You know what would make it shorter? Weekly racing. What do you think about that? Weekly racing instead of the fortnightly?
Well, yeah, that's a fortnightly.
Are they too close? Speaking of too close, there's 2 cars very close to one another. Donnelly actually goes past Greg, who runs off wide at turn number 10. No, 9. Had it right the first time. And Donnelly up into 4th position.
I don't even bother trying. I've only ever driven this circuit once before, and it was in ATCC. So, like you know, modern day Adelaide, I'm all sorted. I watched the clips of 500 RIP. I watched it live nearly every single time because I don't know, I just happened to usually be able to. So I watched it for many years. It was one of the few races throughout the Supercars calendar which, even regardless of, you know, work and whatever school stuff was going on, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, it was one of the few races of the year that I could actually usually watch most of it live. So I've watched quite a few clips of 500s. So yeah, anyway, modern track, I know it brilliantly. This track, no idea. Nicholas Gregg as a reverse, and Knott is somewhere. Is Nick right? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Knott's a little further up the road. I wanted to see if they were related, but yeah,
I thought Nick might have had
again that Wakefield corner, not doing him any wonders at all.
No. I thought he might have had like an engine drama or something because he wasn't going, but I'm wondering if maybe he just didn't want to flick spin it and overheat the rears. I don't know how much of an issue that is to sort of cool them back down. Again, like, my knowledge of these is just non-existent, so that's hard to commentate on because, you know, supercars are like, you know, I fully know the ins and outs of that car. I've got bloody God knows how many hours in the supercar. Or even in ATCC, really, I'm sort of quite well versed in that. I did a lot of testing early on before the second season of ATCC. I tested pretty much all the cars, compared them all against each other. So I know a fair bit about the ATCC cars, but yeah, nothing about these.
There's a fair few battles. It's all coming together now, isn't it? John Slow on the back of James Knott as they run side by side down towards the second part of that staircase. At turn number 5 onto Flinders Street. Still side by side are the Benetton and the Williams. Where have you seen this before? And coming down towards the market corner in one piece. John Slow.
Me having no idea what you're referencing there.
Jack Meredith on an 18.460 puts in the fastest lap out of 6th position. That
where the hell's that's why I'm shocked. Where's Jack come from? It's just suddenly gotten fast out of nowhere. See, that's so frustrating about Jack is he can be one of the fastest drivers on track. I'm not trying to take the piss out. Like, he can genuinely be one of the fastest. It's just that usually he'll be one of the fastest for a few laps before he makes some catastrophic error. Like, if you just, it always feels like if you just back off by like a couple percent and just work on consistency, he could be a seriously good driver. He does it all the time. So Mckeown, a little bit closer to Smith there, but still nothing much significant. Mckeown sets his fastest lap. Is that of the race there?
Should go purple.
I believe it did, yes.
Yep. Well, it is then. Personal best. Fuel loads are getting really light now. No refueling in this, as it was in real life up until 1993.
I think a lot of drivers had a good 200 litres of fuel on board.
Refalo puts in the fast lap at 1:18.0. It's getting a lot faster.
Jeez. Yeah, I think Mello was saying the fuel load makes a massive difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, yeah, some drivers, and I did this as well, mainly because I just don't know anything and honestly didn't really care where I finished. But yeah, I started, and quite a few drivers started with a good 200 litres of fuel on board. And so this late into the race, you'd be well under 100 litres now. Probably under 50 really, so cars far lighter than they were at the beginning of the race. So Mckeown now about a second back from Riley Smith. I'm just kind of half keeping an eye on that. He sets another.
Faster.
Yeah, he does a personal best again. So I think he's starting to push now.
3 tenths faster that lap. James not off the road. So that is down at the chicane there. He was right on the back of John Slow and potentially had a chance to pass him once more, but
whoa, no!
Oh dear, oh dear. So that is Nick Mello, who's gone up on top of the catch fit.
That might be some damage.
So what happened with Knott there? Did he grab the inside wall or something?
Yeah, I'm assuming inside wall or just lit up the rears. Yeah, something along those lines. I would assume. So Refalo, even with his drive-through, still kind of gotten off scot-free, more or less. He's actually almost rebuilt the gap that he had before his drive-through. Only about 3 seconds from
the back of Riley Smith there.
It's so hard to keep track of. What entries are open tomorrow, are they? Oh.
Spivey past Ailing Mello.
Yeah, I'd imagine Mello might be in trouble after that incident. It's unfortunate for him.
Refalo's on the back of this pack, getting caught up in a fair bit of traffic. It's a fairly small field, but they're all managing to find one another.
Somehow, yeah.
Whether or not
it often happens near the end of a race, is somehow cars just often naturally end up coming together near the end.
So this is after the accident for Knott. I had one saved of the accident. I told them right after I saw this. Yeah, no, it lit it up.
He's just, thought so.
Oh my goodness.
There's Mello pit now.
Glided along there, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I was assuming, there'd be damage from that because it was a pretty hard hit into the outer wall. A few spectacular crashes there over the years. I remember a GT3 race here comes to mind in, I don't know, probably 2016 or so maybe. I think it was like an LDR8 or something, went flying into that wall. Not round again. It is so easy. It's just so easy to spin through this staircase if you aren't careful. And I mean, I did 30 odd laps of the race, and it was only after maybe 20 laps I was starting to be able to push the car a bit through this staircase section and kind of feel comfortable about it.
I've been saying that I'm surprised that turn 1 and 2 is not the hotspot for these accidents because it's just so fast and your car looks on edge the entire time. But are people taking it a bit more carefully through their knowing how difficult of a corner it is to be able to go through there at a decent pace and stay in control of the car?
From my experience, and again, I'm a bad example because I'm shocking in these cars, but from my example, I was running. Better than nothing. I was running the stock setup. Apart from I changed the wing settings and changed the brake power, which has nothing to do with how the car drives. Nicholas Craig spins again, that same corner. Just can't do it for more than about 7 laps. Yeah, he gets
The
on the way
highlights
again.
video
Still
I'm
holding
maybe
5th.
bringing out tomorrow is going to be full of those little incidents.
Oh, there's going to be a billion tiny spins. But yeah, anyway, so I was basically running the stock setup, and the car honestly takes the turn 1-2 chicane fine, really. I don't know why, but it soaks. And even here, actually, it's another good example. That inside curve there, for some reason, given it's a hunkered down, super fast Formula 1 car, they take the curbs really amazingly well. I don't know why. I don't understand how that works, but they really weren't. The cars really aren't that phased by it.
It's just the mod, I think.
Yeah, it must be, because they were fine.
You look at real life pole laps from this time, and they're barely touching it.
Yeah, well, it must be then. Well, lock up at the front right, you saw there.
So that's Jack Meredith down the inside, Nicholas Gregg trying to get a lap back on him. Side by side, they run down to the centre chicane. Who blinks first? It's going to be Nicholas Gregg, thank God. Oh, into the wall crashes.
Oh no!
For Jack Meredith.
That'll be destroyed.
That turn 2.
Not destroyed, but like that'll be hurt. Very hurt.
He's done that a couple of times now, I think, as Mello slides through in the Farmers Union Ice Coffee Machine. Currently runs 8th. It's lap 74 of 81, so we're getting close to the end of this one.
So who's impressing me at the moment? Riley Smith. He's still holding his own against McKeown. McKeown keeps on setting. McKeown keeps on setting. Like he just set another purple lap just now. I see it come up, and yet Riley's still maintaining a gap, more or less. It's been like fluctuating a bit between about 1 second and 3 seconds, but. So we'll see here, Jack taking too much of the second part of the chicane here. Curve 1, curve 2, and off it goes.
Actually, you didn't get caught up in that either.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, very. So it goes to show that it's not like you can't, just not pay attention at all to the turn 1-2 chicane. But, yeah, must be, as you said, must be the mod, but... Yeah, no, cars take it incredibly well, especially given the fact that I was running the stock setup, which usually stock setups in Assetto Corsa, like, they're not bad, but a lot of the time, weird circuits like this, for example, with different curbs, don't like stock setups that well. Supercars, for example, the stock setup around some tracks is fine, but around here is, like, absolutely awful. So, an actual pit stop for Jack, he'll be repairing the car.
Exactly.
Maybe here for some time.
Mike Spivey's the next car. He's down at the Ketfield hairpin, so it'll be a while.
I mean, Jack may be a while, so we'll see. Oh, he's coming out.
Oh, here he is. Oh, he's nearly done
No
it
way! On
nearly
cold
done
tyres
it again
now.
on the way out of the pits. Oh,
God,
be careful!
oh!
Someone into the wall. It's Chris Refalo. That's Chris Refalo hard into the wall on the exit of turn number 3. 5 laps to go in this race. And there'll be a fair bit of damage to that car, I imagine.
I'm not sure it was quite as hard as you think. I think the car actually gripped up a fair bit on the track. As in a lot of that was actually just the car turning, but he definitely hit the wall. Definitely hit the wall, but I think Refalo had actually, by the time he got to the wall, had taken a fair bit of pace, laterally at least, like sideways pace off the car. I don't have a replay of it.
We sure do. 48 seconds.
Here you go. Hopefully we'll be able to see what I'm trying to explain. So watch Refalo here, coming around turn 3. Here he is. Oh no, he's hit that relatively hard.
Nicholas Gregg down at turn number 6 this time.
I mean, that's enough spins to the point where I probably would nearly be beating him.
It's pretty even coverage. All 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm such a great driver, but I mean, he's spun a lot. Not as in like, oh, Nick sucks, but just he's spun many, many times. So Mckeown again, slightly closing the gap. It seems to slowly close over a few laps, and then I don't know whether he actually catches Riley or what, but then it suddenly goes back out to about 3 seconds. So,
Seriously running out of time though. Only,
I reckon he's out. I reckon he's out of time. He doesn't have enough pace to get by him. I reckon Riley's got it.
5 laps.
Riley just needs to bring it to the end. I think he's okay. So Refalo seemed to be alright. There didn't seem to be any obvious steering damage or anything to his car, so... Refalo just has to basically limp it home now. He'll be alright. So I think you've got your podium probably sorted. Wow, look at the lap times. They're close. Within a 10th. Oh, bit rate dies for a second. There we go.
I don't think anyone's been able to keep their nose completely clean. Riley Smith, I and Alex Mckeown have probably been the closest. Paddy Donnelly's had a pretty decent run. Remember, he was last after the first corner kerfuffle.
Oh, was he? Yeah, he had a fair bit. Like, I couldn't keep up with him. He outdrove me easily.
He's done very well to come back up to 4th. He's got 1 lap on behind these guys, so won't be able to advance any further, you'd think. But
yeah, no, he's just in a drive to the end now. Which
well.
you look at those gaps, and that's probably the same as most people. Apart from Riley here, who just has to be a bit careful, but Riley and Mckeown by that measure. But pretty much the rest of the field is kind of just in a drive to the finish line now. Bathurst 1000, you sort of saw that happen near the end of the race. Not with everybody, but the top sort of 4 or so cars was pretty much to drive to the end.
Fuel load's going to get as light as they will at the end of this race. 17.881. That lap time from Nicholas Grinch, the fastest so far. He's on the C compound. No one on the A compound. Doesn't seem to be the tyre of choice at all.
Well, yeah, probably not worth it really, because there aren't a lot of, well, I mean, there's almost no really high speed corners. You wouldn't imagine that the tyre wear is massive. The rear tyre wear is massive, because you're doing so much low speed, hard acceleration. So it was funny, my rear tyres were at almost 0%, as in the wear rate, the percentage, were at almost 0%, but the fronts were still at about 100%. Just because you do so much hard acceleration out of slow corners, which kind of isn't really Formula One's forte, at least especially not these days. The gap's actually come down further than I would have expected. So, do you think Mckeown might be on to have a go here? Thanks, Shav. Love your work. Spivey has a spin turn 4, I believe that was.
I'm craving food in my gullet. 9. So I'm going to let you keep talking for a bit. 9/10 of a second between Mckeown, and he could be on. I mean, things will start to get more desperate.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of want to see from Mckeown now. Just absolutely go home. Actually makes a mistake there. Car understeers into turn, 6, I believe that is. And he's lost a good second almost. Not quite, nearly. I think it might be all over. I don't think Mckeown has... It's like I was saying, I predicted this a good 5 or 6 laps ago. Mckeown doesn't have enough extra pace over Riley to catch up and get past him. I reckon Mckeown somehow, if he stops making little mistakes, could catch up. I don't think he'll get past. Refalo here, the absolute man of the hour though, is just literally destroyed everyone.
Destroyed his car as well earlier, but still going alright, 45 seconds.
I heard everyone saying or a lot of people saying before the race that he was almost alarmingly good in these cars for some reason, so I don't know what it is, but they just must click with Refalo because he's absolutely smashing everybody.
Most cars have a 1 lap gap to the next one. Just all of a sudden.
1 or 2 more people had spins and that was the end of that. There we go. Race is starting. Oh, hang on, is that Mellow and Spivey close? Is that what that's saying, or am I reading that wrong?
Is it? Oh, yeah, it is too. 0.3 of a second between them. Just all of a sudden, Nicholas Gregg's had another incident. And, good measure, Mello coming into the race course, which, by the way, an actual race course.
Yeah,
Big slide off of the curb.
Oh, it's gone. That's all over.
And he's run wide.
That's
He'll have one last lap for Max Spivey.
At this point, all you have is Spivey and Riley. Just need to not make him. Mello would have gotten a cut for that just there.
Oh, he just drove straight across it. Doesn't matter, 1 lap to go.
That's it. Riley and Spivey, yeah. They just need to make sure for this last lap, they just don't crash, basically. Although that gap is almost the closest it's been the whole time. So we'll see if Mckeown can get a good run through the staircase. He screwed up this turn right here last lap. The car understeered wide here. He's gone through a lot better this time. So it's so incentivizing when you can really start to see the car in front of you getting closer. It really pushes you to just try and go that little bit faster. That's why you often see the gap will come down to sort of a second or so. Then from a second, not all the time obviously, but a lot of the time, it'll come way back down from a second. So that's Refalo winning. There you go.
Chris Refalo wins the 1991 Australian Grand Prix. We'll just quickly jump back to this battle for second position where Riley Smith looks to be holding off Alex Mckeown.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't make a mistake, Riley Smith will, quite impressively, I think, hold on. Mello and Spivey swapping positions a lot. What's going on there?
They are coming down the main straight, and it's going to be Mello who
Mello got him
right at the end. Oh, big accident. Mckeown has spun last corner. He's pretty much had a flawless race, but he spun last corner.
He would have just been trying anything he could. There you go, across the line.
Third position for him. And Paddy Donnelly, who's had a brilliant drive up into 4th place. Pretty much from the back.
Brings it round to be the final finisher in 4th.
Alright, all cars have crossed the line and finished. We've had 11 finishes tonight. Let's go have a look at these race gaps. That is definitely wrong. Hang on.
How many 7 laps? 5 was
broken.
Great. Alright, well, I have been awake since 4:40 this morning, so I'm going to leave you to it, Shaft.
Alright.
Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
No worries. Enjoy sleep.
Hard earned sleep, will do.
Absolutely.
See you, mate.
Thank
you everybody for watching.
Chris Refalo wins the 1991 Australian Grand Prix from Riley Smith in 2nd and then Alex Mckeown in 3rd. We'll have a look at the actual standings here. 46.166 the gap between Refalo and Smith, and Mckeown 52.129 off the lead. And look, it's a bit difficult to tell actually because it doesn't have quite the right. Well, live timing over here have the actual results that we want? No, because people are leaving. Okay. Well, that's your order. That's all you need to know. Alex Mckeown, Paddy Donnelly, and then Nicholas Gregg, Jack Meredith in 6th, Nick Mello in 7th, Max Spivey in 8th, John Slow in 9th, and then James Knott in 10th, and Mike Crick, last finisher in 11th. Joshua Hill and Jack Callister were your non-finishers for tonight. Screen now fades to black. Well, that was fun. That was enjoyable to watch. And they're such fast, raw cars, those ones. And very entertaining. There was pretty big gaps in the field for most of the time. Except for that battle for 2nd. That went on for pretty much the entire race. Head to head between Mckeown and Riley Smith. But that was a brilliant drive from Chris Refalo. Continuing on we left off in the supercars. It was just great stuff. Thanks very much for joining us this evening. The Australian Touring Car Championship, of course, opens tomorrow. The entries for that. We're running Group A's. We're going to be back here, actually, for the first round, the Adelaide Street Circuit, on a 9-round calendar. So you can go to velocityrl.com to get involved in that one, and then join our Discord server from there, and you'll be able to sign up. So, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the first round of the Australian Touring Car Championship. But until then, it's goodbye.